Hello, Steve White 89. Well, this is a bit of a surprise. I knew they were doing a third season of Chucky, but I had no idea it actually started. I just stumbled across a review on YouTube for episode 3, and I'm like, what? Oh, gee, it must have started. So I had a look, and yes, they're up to season 3, episode 3. Now, Chucky. I loved the first season of Chucky. I watched it on video, watched it in one day, one evening, loved it, and that was a few days before. Well, I realised afterwards, season 2 is about to start. It was pretty good timing. I didn't like season 2 though. They seemed to just do like a soft reboot, and it's like everyone just forgot everything that happened the season before, and it's like they started over again, and the kids were stuck in this school, and no one was listening to them, and it's like everyone just forgot Chucky existed, and it wasn't really working for me for the most part. And then at the end, it got really it's like they just threw out the fourth wall, and they were just making fun of everything. They didn't take anything seriously. None of it really worked for me, and I just sort of thought, wow, they really just killed that show. It was good, and then, and the end was kind of ridiculous, and I sort of walked away and I was like, I really didn't care. It's probably why I wasn't paying any attention, didn't know they'd actually gotten to season 3. But this season is actually much better. Now, the show is getting a bit of a American Horror Story feel, because each season does seem to be its own thing. But this season actually, it started off like I was like watching it, and like, seriously, he's in the White House, so the son of the president has the Chucky doll in the White House, and no one knows what it is. No one has any idea. Somehow it got through security without detecting the fact there's a human being inside. And I'm like, well, what can you do? You can't kill anyone, because it's not like they're not going to notice in the White House people are dying. There's going to be security everywhere. They can't. And then right when I was thinking that, because the security guard was getting close to him, the kid's security guard, and then he pulls out his gun and shoots him in the head. And I literally gasped and put my hands over my mouth like, oh my God. I did not think that. I thought they're going to have to do something really subtle here, because, realistically they're in the White House, and no, they just, they went for it. Now, the first 2 episodes kind of blurred together because they were both just in the White House. First episode was called Murder at 1600, and the second one was called Let the Right One In. It basically shows the first family. They think the guard committed suicide. They have the funeral and everything. Then Chucky uses the, I think it was the letter opener from Eleanor Roosevelt that he took, because the kid wanted, Chucky, who is going by the name of the brother of, there's 3 kids and one died. One was named Joseph, so he's basically being Joseph, and the little kid is carrying him around, and he's like, Joseph wants to come into the Oval Office with you today while I'm at school, Dad. And he's like, okay. So he's humouring the kid. And of course, Chucky sort of moves places, and it's all sort of weird, but people think, people are just playing jokes on us, And then he slashes the throat of the secretary, and her head basically falls off backwards. But this time, a security agent that the first lady is working with, convinced her to cover it up, because this president was running on transparency, and he is this independent who, there's some reference to Trumpism and so forth, that there was like partisan politics, and now it's an independent, and it's all about transparency, and they tell the truth about the first episode. There's a power outage because they were hacked, so they tell the truth about that. They tell the truth about the security guard being shot, them not knowing what it was. It looks like suicide, but they're still investigating and so forth. And it's interesting that they're playing with the politics, but not hugely. The kid is sort of becoming a bit obsessed with ghosts and the house. He reads a book, about all the history of 1600 and the people have died there. So then we get to what really kind of surprised me. Was the murder of the teacher, because the kids are all back home, they're all together, they're living with the teacher, they're TikToking. The girl Lexi's trying to find her sister because she disappeared, of course, at the end of last season. The the guy that looks like 12 years old is doing his podcast and true crime stuff, and the artist guy is finishing his art, which is all about like dolls and the evil inside them and all that. So they realise Chucky is in the White House because they start getting messages from Chucky, and he drops a hint, and then they see he's actually at the White House. So then they're trying to get into the White House to get him. So Lexi talks to the first boy because he's actually one of her fans, the older brother. They get an invite, and they get an invite to the Halloween party at the White House. So they're going to get into the White House, and that's when they're going to try and kill Chucky or something, because, they've got to do that again. Now, the teacher's in on it, and she's actually helping. And there's a moment where she's actually, like, letting them out of the car to go talk to the first son at this, like, coffee shop. And it's like, I'm not sure if she would do that, but I like that they're actually including her. They're not trying to have the kids just going around behind everyone's backs and no one notices. It was sort of more believable in a way, but not. The teacher goes there to talk to the first mother because she's not sure about her son being friends with them because of their history. And then while she's waiting in the Oval Office, Chucky uses the flag to choke her to death. And I'm watching this, I'm like, she's gonna like shake him off or something. She can't die, and they killed her. And I'm really kind of surprised that they are just killing people, and there's no... I'm like, first it was the location, and then it was the actual characters. And then we get to Chucky tracking down Andy, and then he knocks him out, he ties him to the bed, and then he's stabbing him to death. And I'm like, oh my God, he's killing Andy. And then he wakes up and it's a dream. I'm like, I would never have believed that had they not set up those other kills that I didn't believe. So I was actually totally in with that and thought they're actually killing this character, but they're not. He's still alive. And then we get to the third episode, Jennifer's Body, which is a bit surreal. That was when I saw the reviews for it. I'm like, oh, okay. Basically, Jennifer Tilly is on trial because they finally answer what happened at the end of last season. Basically, the police break in and stop Chucky from killing Jennifer. They arrest her for the murders. They take her away. The girl, the sister, I've forgotten her name, basically takes Chucky, and they're working together to basically go on the run and hide. And he wants revenge on people and that. And the girl in the chair, I've forgotten her name, she nearly catches up to them, but she can't go down the subway. They get away. The girl's researching, in the book and everything, and Jennifer goes to jail. She goes on trial. She tries to claim insanity and claim that she's Tiffany. They don't believe her. They find her guilty, and I think she gets 103 life sentences or something, or convicted for 103 murders, and then she actually is put to death. So that's pretty much where the episode ended. But there's another little story where Chucky is aging, and he discovers that the voodoo religion that he's been using has abandoned him because of the Christian, the Catholic, the energy from the exorcism from season 2. So he's trying to work out, how do I get the voodoo power back, and he realizes he has to sacrifice 6 people. So he goes to somewhere evil, and this is amazing. He shows up at Amityville. Now, I remember looking at the house thinking, oh, it's Amityville. I'm like, just because it's got those windows doesn't mean it's Amityville. It's the Dutch colonial, doesn't mean it's Amityville. And then actually says Amityville, and I'm like, oh my God. And it does look exactly like the house, but maybe they renovated, who knows. But so the little girl's like, goes to the door, I'm lost. They let her in, and then Chucky kills everyone. And he says the voodoo prayer thing. It doesn't work. He's like, this house is not evil enough. Like he blames Ron DeFeo, and she's like, who's Ron DeFeo? And he's like, kids, they don't know anything about history. So he tells her about, Ron DeFeo killing his family, and the idea that everyone's been cursed since the house is evil. And he's like, it's not evil enough, I have to go somewhere else. So then they end up front of the White House, because even though only, I think, 10 people have died there and no one's been killed there, all the people that have been killed from the decisions that have been made there make it the most evil place that they can find to channel evil energy to do this curse and that. So I love that they went to Amityville, and I love sort of the sort of making fun of the White House and politics and that. It's I've been enjoying this season. It's only 3 episodes in, but there's something a bit more believable about it. Everything's out in the open. They're not trying to do that whole... It's like they did sort of reset in a way, location-wise. It sort of feels like a different series, or at least did for the first 2 episodes. But then they sort of basically came back, explained everything, showed where everyone was, and I feel like they've managed to sort of get back to what the first season was, which was sort of believable and scary and funny and over the top, because yes, it's a killer doll, but that doesn't mean it can't be done seriously. And the second season, it gave that up towards the end and became a parody of itself, where he's like on TV, and it was just too much. But this one, they've pulled it back and it's working, so I'm enjoying it. I'm going to enjoy watching the rest of the season. So feel free to share, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think. I will be reviewing, I guess, the other episodes as I watch them. Yeah, looking forward to them now. Thanks. Bye.